this computer.
Got it. Okay.
Hey folks, thanks for everyone for your time today and joining. We're going to give people a little bit more time to get on and we'll get started in just a couple minutes here. All right, we'll give folks just, let's say 1 or 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. All right, looks like we can go ahead and get things kicked off. Welcome everyone and thank you for joining us on today's webinar. Prospector has defined a new and simplistic process to finding key information pertaining to the mining and metals industry. Digital transformation and accurate data were in demand, so we created it. For those that aren't as familiar with Prospector, to give you a little bit of background, we started from an idea from our founder and CEO, Emily King. She asked herself while she was walking the floor, PDAC 2019, why isn't there an easier way to search through technical reports? And further, if you can book a hotel room from anywhere in the world, why isn't there an easier way to find mining companies or projects just as quickly? So we're proud to share how far we've come in developing this platform to fit the needs of so many different pain points. PDAC 2021, just last year, Prospector was named a cutting edge company. We're definitely very extremely honored to be recognized. And now PDAC 2022, Prospector has grown leaps and bounds just from last year. We received repeated feedback from the conference in person, confirming and proving the shared pain points folks across numerous sectors that varying company, size, sector, and department deal with daily. With that, I'd like to introduce two folks from our team. We have Gotham, our head of data. He'll walk you through our Analyst product, and Jess Scanlon, who's a key member of our marketing team, who will walk through the Prospector platform. And just a couple of notes before we go ahead and dive in. I'll be fielding questions throughout the demonstration, so feel free to write any questions that you may have in the question answer field. If you have any technical issues, I will provide my email in the chat as well. Additionally, please note that this webinar will be recorded. And with that, I will pass that over to Jess.
Awesome. Thank you, Jess. Yeah, we're very excited to show you guys all our Prospector product. I'm going to show you guys our research product, and then we're going to move to Gotham to show our new Analyst product. So Prospector is a online-based platform. So there's no downloading any programs or software. You can access it from any computer, anywhere, as well as our mobile app. So when you first go to our website, this is the page you're greeted with. You can sign up for our weekly newsletter or our podcast here as well. So go ahead and do that if you want to keep up on everything that's happening. Then from here, you'll go to the sign in. And this is going to take you to, again, our web-based platform that you can access from any computer, anywhere. Looks a little bit like this. We have a map. All of these icons here are all projects within the last year, as you can see here. And we also have a list. Prospector allows you to search for companies or projects. So let's just say a popular one is just Detour Lake. So that allows us to search, and we can pull that up here and just click right on it. Another thing we can do with Prospector is use filters, right? So if you're not sure exactly what you're looking for, you just know that you want, I don't know, gold projects, right? So we're interested in gold. We have an advanced filter here. Again, you can search by project name, or you can search with all of these advanced filters. So let's go ahead and say we're interested in Canadian projects. We can either type or we can scroll. And we're looking for gold projects. So we click gold. We can go ahead and keep it on all mineral estimate levels, although you can search by that as well. Proven and probable here, as well as measured, indicated, and inferred. We can do the last update on the project, as little as 1 month if you're looking for recent projects, or all, which will show all the projects. We're going to go ahead and keep it on 1 year. We're also going to search by the project stage. We're going to go with PEA, pre-feasibility, and permitting and feasibility. But you can also search on grassroots if you're interested in that, or all the way up to production or even suspended. And that's going to narrow it down to 25 projects. So again, we can click on the map here and move around. It's a dynamic map. So as we zoom in or out, it's going to show more or less projects. By clicking on a project, it's going to show you a little bit of details about the project. All of these 25 projects that fit our filters are also listed over here. If we're interested in learning more about all of these projects, we can go ahead and click this button. That allows us to select all of these projects. If we're only interested in 1 or 2, we can go ahead and select them individually. And I'm just picking these at random. There's no looking forward here. But say we're interested in all of these. We can export these to CSV. I already have that downloaded here. And that's going to export this into an Excel format or CSV format and have all of the information here, which is really handy if you want to print it, take it on the go with you, etc. Another thing we can do is add these to a list. And this is really handy. You guys can see I have a list already created, but we're going to create a new list. It's going to be called like Canadian gold companies or gold projects, right? So we'll create that list. List is created, as you can see up here, and it shows up here. We can also select these to add tags to. This is really handy for sorting it out. So we're going to do gold, Canada, save. So all of those projects fit our filters or our criteria that we're interested in. But if we wanted to, we could zoom around and look for particular projects. So let's go ahead and check out this one, this Cote project. By clicking that information that shows up on that little flag, it takes us directly to the project page. And we can learn more about this project. You see we have a nice summary here, as well as this kind of tag system over here, right? So we can see our primary metal is gold. We can see our mineral estimates over here, as well as in these little bars over here. The stage, this is a permitting and feasibility stage, as well as the last technical report. By scrolling down, it shows us a map. And again, this is another dynamic map, so you can zoom in or out. So we can see it's near all of these little towns in Canada here. On the right side here is a breakdown of the project owners. And we can see that there's 3 owners of this project, as well as what percent owner they are. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have the more information about the project owners. And then we have the technical report. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Oop, the report, there we go. So you can actually find the technical report for the project right from the Prospector page, which is really, really nice. And then we can go through and read it all if we want to. I know some of us like to, I personally don't. I'm more of a facts and figures kind of person. So we also have the tables down here. All of the tables that are in the report have been pulled out for your convenience, so you can easily find them, as well as all of the figures. So that's really, really handy. You can see that this technical report is associated with the Cote project, and again, the ownership down here. So that's all really handy. Lost my headphone there. All right, so we'll go back to the project. If we're interested in keeping an eye on a project, we can add notes here. So say we're just interested, you don't have to write anything major, but you can if you want to. Again, we can add tags, gold, Canada, and save. So we're going to also follow this project. We can add that to a list. So we already have it on our Canadian gold projects list, but we're going to create a new list we're going to call interesting projects. We're going to create that list. Awesome, so that list is created. And then that shows up. Ooh, wait for that to load there. In our My Prospector tab. So the My Prospector tab, you can see the companies that you're interested in, as well as the projects. So there's that Cote project. You can see all of the information here. And we can also go to our lists. So this is the Canadian Gold Projects list that I saved all of those projects to earlier, as well as the interesting projects list, which is, again, has that Cote project there. So all of that is also available on our mobile app, which is available in any app store. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how that looks as well. So let me stop sharing here and move over to that. Our mobile app is available on any platform, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys on my iPhone here today. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat and we will, or in the Q&A box, and we will get to those here shortly. All right, can we see that okay? I think so. Okay, awesome. So this is our mobile app. You can search in the App Store under Prospector. And this is kind of how it looks. The nice part about the app is that it syncs seamlessly with the web app here. So we can go to My Prospects, which is this 4th little icon down here. We can see that we have our Cote project with our notes, as well as our lists. Interesting projects. So we can click on this project, and this is how this project looks in the mobile app. Again, we have our summary, company information. We can see all the different companies here, the location, drilling, recent news, as well as the stock price. Ooh, recent news, continue. Lots of news for this one. But the nice part is we can also look at companies on the mobile app as well as the web app. We can do this on both. I just want to show you guys both. So this is what the company looks like on the mobile app. We can see the recent stock price here, a little bit about the company. projects, we can see projects, including that Cote project that we were interested in. Data, news and social media. There we go. So we can see recent news and social media by this company as well. So that's really handy. If we are interested in this company, right, because you invest in companies, not projects, we can add a note. Let's just say, interesting, add a tag, just say, gold, Canada, save. All right. Again, we can also add this to a list. So we can create a new list that says gold companies, save. There we go. And then we have that on our list in our prospects tab. Interesting projects. There we go. Oop. Companies. There we go. All right. So we have our web app. We have our mobile app. And if we want to do a deeper dive, our newest product, Analyst, is going to help you with that. And so I'm really excited to send this over to Gotham, who's going to show us our Analyst product.
Thanks, Jess. And just confirm with me that you can see my screen.
Yep, you're good.
Perfect. So we've been looking at IM Gold, and we've seen a lot of the fundamental data, but at a surface level. So the Analyst product pretty much lets us do a deeper dive into the actual resource and reserve data that a company has, as well as operational data if the company is, in production. So what we have here is we go through all of the disclosure documents of a company, and we pull out the resources and reserves for each metal, not just for today, but the past 5 years. So we do this on an annual basis. We not only capture each project at a 100% basis, we also do it at an attributional basis, because not every project in the world is 100% owned by the companies that operate them. So in the case of IM Gold, we have gold resources, we have some zinc resources, some copper resources, a lot of silver, some lead. So keeping it at the gold resources, we can see a breakdown of each project and how they fare in terms of resources and reserves: inferred, measured, indicated, proven, and probable. Now, what we've also done is we've built in a charting function. So this actually allows us to plot each of the projects and compare them to a peer group. So the way we define a peer group is any project that we have in our database that has a gold resource or a silver resource or a copper resource. So this allows us to benchmark the projects across the peers. We do the same for contained metal. And we also have a time series chart, which allows us to see how well the company has been replenishing their resources and reserves over time. And we also have built in toggles to isolate certain categories. Like we just want to see how the measured resources have been replenished. You can click on that and we isolate only the measured resources. Below that, we have another chart which shows us the corporate level breakdown of the resources and reserves. So on the right here, we have the total inferred resources for the company. So in this case, we have 10.6 million ounces. And then the dark gray lines pretty much show us the breakdown from each asset and how they contribute to the corporate level inferred resource. Similarly, we do that with the measured and indicated, as well as the proven and probable. Now, let's say you like what you're seeing here, but you're going to the field and perhaps you may not have great internet connection to actually log into the Prospector portal. What you can do is you can actually print this and take it on the go. So I've already exported this to a PDF, printable PDF, and you can see that we have all the charts now available offline. Okay, but supposing you want to import this to Microsoft Excel, we can actually export this to a CSV file. And by doing that, we can pretty much copy and paste what we see in this in the CSV into your own Microsoft Excel and format it as per your own company's branding, etc. So in addition to resources and reserves, we know that IM Gold actually produces metal. We capture all of that information as well, again, on a 100% basis, as well as a corporate level basis, as well as an attributional basis. So we do that again for the last 5 years. We're able to benchmark it across its peer group. The peer group, again, defined as any company that produces gold. And here's another breakdown in terms of assets contributing to the company's overall production profile. We not only capture the production information, we also capture the annual costs. So cash costs, all-in sustaining costs. If all-in costs are available, we try to capture that as well. And we're working on building out a nice cost curve where we can see, how IAMGOLD fares across its peers and peer group. Now, we not only do that on an annual basis, we also pull out the same information on a quarterly basis. So we focus on the last 6-7 quarters, starting from 2020 Q1 all the way to present time. Again, quarterly production costs, we're able to build out these cost curves. And then the last thing that we also do is we have a deeper dive into the board members and executive of the corporation. So sometimes, you really want to see the pedigree of the management team or their history, where they're coming from before making any sort of decision. So what you're able to do using the Analyst product is you're able to do a deeper dive into the management team. So for example, you want to take a deeper dive, a deep look into the CEO and the CEO's history. Click on View More, and we can see, okay, so currently director, board member, Kirkland Lake Gold, corporate officer, principal at Kinross previously, other companies, True Gold, Atlantic Gold. You can pretty much get a good sense of the pedigree of the management team and the previous roles that they have held. Now, this is at a corporate level, this deep dive. We can also do this again at a project level. And so I know Jess has spoken about the Côté project. So if you want to go into the Côté project, we provide the same kind of information, except we go a little bit deeper because with projects, we actually have associated technical reports. So what we do is we go through and we sift through these dense technical reports and pull out the pertinent information that would contribute towards the life of mine. And the life of mine is important because that's the basis of building any financial model, valuation model for a mine. And so usually you're provided with mining metrics, processing metrics, production costs, CapEx, capital expenditures, as well as royalties. And at the end of the day, what you want to come up with is an NPV, an IRR, etc. And so we pull out all these metrics for you so you don't have to sift through, a 300, 500-page document. Again, we have the resources and reserves data for the Côté project, and you can benchmark it across its peers. Now, Côté is not producing just yet. It's currently under construction. So once it starts producing, we'll obviously start collecting the production level data as well. And now going back to the life of mine plan, we actually take it a step further. Let's say you don't have much time and you want to do a quick and dirty valuation of the project. You can actually click on the calculator function here, which takes us to what we call the NPV calculator. This is a back of the napkin calculation where you can flex the assumptions that are contained within the company's technical report for that specific project. Let's say the company is being a little bullish on the gold price, and as a conservative investor, you want to see how the project fares, under a significantly lesser gold price environment. So from 1,800, let's flex this down to 1,200 per ounce. You immediately get a valuation of, how the project would fare. As you can see, it still is quite a healthy NPV, even under a 1,200 gold price environment. Let's say you're a geologist and you know the area really well, and you feel like, over the life of the mine, this project is going to produce close to, 15 million ounces. You can change the life of mine production, maybe increase the mine life as well. And there you have it. You have another valuation. Now, depending on your different assumptions, you can actually save all of them and come back to them at a later time. You can also export them or print them out if you choose to do so. Here's a printable PDF that we had exported to it earlier. And all the different NPVs that I have created for the Côté project, I've saved it, and you can always go back, view them later. Or if you just want to clean up your own saved NPV list, you can obviously delete the ones you don't like. And that's that. I mean, I'll send it back to Jess Allman.
Thank you. I did answer one question, but we do have another one. Curious about the projects that we have on our platform. Must they have the NI 43-101 report?
Okay, I can definitely take this question. Now, the projects that we have currently are those that are publicly available and those that are owned by companies that are listed on the TSX, TSXV, Australian Stock Exchange. Now, eventually, we'll be building in other stock exchanges as well, including New York, London, Johannesburg. And we're going to try to pull in private companies as well that allow, easy access to their data. It's always tough to get data from private companies. I'm talking about companies like Codelco that make it pretty easy. Now, the projects, must they have an NI 43-101 report? No, not every project has a 43-101 report, but we do capture those that do have a 43-101 report. And if they do, we do a deeper dive. So depending on the level of the 43-101, whether it's just a simple resource estimate or a pre-feasibility study, we will do a deeper dive and pull out the pertinent information. So if a project only has a resource estimate, we'll pull out that resource estimate. If it goes up to a pre-feasibility study, we'll pull out the life of mine plan, we'll pull out the resource estimate and any other important details that's there within those reports. But we pull out every project. It doesn't have to be at a 43-101 level. It can just be, quite frankly, a patch of grass, a grassroots project.
Thank you. And that's all the questions we have so far.
Yeah. With companies on the ASX, we just got another question. With companies on the ASX, do you review JORC resource reports? So with the ASX, it's a bit difficult because a lot of what they put out there, they don't have a platform like CDAR where all of the reports are, somewhat at the same place. We have to go through every company and look through news releases and press releases. So when a company does put out a JORC resource estimate within a press release, we get that press release, we look through it, we pull out the resource reserves, and same thing with life of mines, right? They put it out in a press release, we review that press release. Usually it's a lot shorter than your 43-101 reports. JORC reports could be 50, 100 pages. So yes, short answer is yes, we do go through those news releases, not necessarily the report. If they do publish a report, we'll go through that, but most often it's news releases. And we source them. So every data point that we have in our database has an audit trail that we can go to the exact source, the page number even, so you can see what we have and where we get it from. And that being said, in terms of an overview of the kind of projects that we have in our database or the number of projects, we have close to now 9,000 projects or over 9,000 projects. We have over 3,500 companies. We're almost reaching that 10,000 project mark, which is huge. And we're quite a young company still. We've started this data collection process just a year ago, and our data team, we're quite a strong team in the sense that we look for individuals that come with a technical background, right? As the head of data, I'm still I'm a geologist by education, and I come from a finance background as well. So the rest of the team, we try to get individuals to have similar experiences, because the mining industry comes with complex data, and so we can't just scrape any data that we see. We have to really look and see what the data is.
All right. Take a couple more minutes for questions. If there's not any questions, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. We definitely appreciate your time that you've spent with us. We'll stay on for a couple more minutes just to answer any other questions that come through. Additionally, we'll be sending out an email shortly with relevant links and additional information from today's session. So with that, I'd like to wish everyone a great day. And you can always stay on and we'll be happy to answer any other questions you might have.